This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The Parliamentary Commissioner says the by-election day went smoothly despite some minor issues. The recount got underway yesterday. Meanwhile, Darren Pickstock says he's confident he'll win Golden Isles in the general election next year as well. And looters left only 11 of 192 containers untouched on that grounded barge. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester Robards is off today. Also this morning, we'll be talking with the Humane Society about an antimicrobial awareness campaign for pets and humans. Everybody needs to pay attention to this. That's all ahead in business. Our monthly series with NIB, we're talking about compliance and some of their new initiatives. So a lot to get to on this Wednesday morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the newly elected MP for Golden Isles, Darren Pickstock, says that he's confident that he will be able to retain his seat in the 2026 general election. Pickstock saying yesterday, quote, "Without a doubt, do what you say that you're going to do, be and give good representation. That's what people want. That's what the residents want. And so we have no doubt in our mind whatsoever that we will be victorious in 2026. Although voter turnout was low on Monday, Pickstock secured 1,873 votes, defeating F&M Brian Brown, who received 1,636. Golden Isles has 7,926 registered voters, and only 3,873 people showed up at the polls, according to the unofficial results released by the Parliamentary Registration Department. Meanwhile, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell thanking Golden Isles voters for electing Darren Pickstock and slamming the F&M for campaigning on, quote, "scandalous rhetoric without substance." Mitchell claimed yesterday that the results demonstrate that F&M leader Michael Pintard, quote, "does not get it. Scandalous rhetoric without substance does not resonate with the Bahamian people." Trailer Bridge, the U.S.-based operator of a barge that ran aground in the Abacos earlier this month and was looted, explaining in a First Coast News article that only 11 of the 192 shipping containers on the barge were left unopened, with the value of the cargo of each container ranging between $50,000 and $200,000. The article explained that Trailer Bridge is funding a cleanup of the area where the barge ran aground on a reef. The barge ran aground after its tugboat suffered a mechanical failure and the connected tow line snapped. Director of the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, Dr. Rhianna Neely Murphy, confirming yesterday that Trailer Bridge has mobilized a cleanup effort of the area. Also explained that DEP continues to get an understanding of the damage caused to the reef by the enormous barge in order to calculate what the Jacksonville, Florida-based company might owe in the way of damages. Well, that First Coast News article explained that while some of the containers held goods destined for retailers in Puerto Rico, others held the personal effects of people who were moving to the island. Maritime lawyer Rod Sullivan saying that, quote, the people in Puerto Rico will probably suffer some shortages over the next few weeks as they try to make up for the cargo that was stolen. The Court of Appeal upholding the 7-year sentence given to a jealous wife who blinded and disfigured a woman whom she suspected was her husband's lover. Following a trial before Magistrate Simone Bowe, 68-year-old Pandora McKenzie received the maximum sentence for causing dangerous harm. On November 8, 2020, McKenzie's husband invited the victim to his home in Grand Bahama with the intention of convincing his wife that they were not romantically involved. Mackenzie had agreed to meet her alleged romantic rival. The husband and the woman denied that they were having an affair. However, as they spoke, Mackenzie threw contents of a metal cup in the woman's face and then stood over her with a cutlass. The husband tackled his wife and disarmed her, preventing any further injury to the woman. Mackenzie appealed the sentence on the ground that it was unduly severe. Her lawyer, Bjorn Ferguson, argued that the magistrate erred when she described the case as the, quote, worst of the worst. By contrast, the prosecutor, Ashley Carroll, said the sentence fit the crime. In dismissing the appeal, Justice of Appeal Bernard Turner noted that the attack was premeditated, saying that the evidence indicated that the appellant lured the victim to the location under the false pretense of wanting to have a conversation with her, while instead waiting with the corrosive substance concealed in a cup. He added that Mackenzie threw the substance directly in the woman's face and then armed herself with a cutlass. He said in these circumstances, the learned magistrate was entitled to justify the offense as among the most serious incidents of its kind. As a result of that attack, the victim can no longer work as a cleaner and is dependent on others. Overseas, a fire spread across multiple high-rise apartment buildings in Hong Kong, in a Hong Kong housing complex today, killing 4 people and leaving others trapped inside. Video from the scene showed at least 5 buildings close to each other ablaze with bright flames and smoke shooting out of many of the apartment's windows as night fell. Firefighters were aiming water at the intense flames from high up on ladder trucks. The raging fire sent up a column of flames and thick smoke as it spread on bamboo scaffolding and construction netting that has been set up around the exterior of the complex. Records show the housing complex consisted of 8 blocks with almost 2,000 apartments, housing about 4,800 people. The Hong Kong government reported 4 deaths and said 5 other people were hospitalized. 3 of the injured were in critical condition, 1 in serious condition, and the other person stable. And Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te today announcing a special $40 billion budget for arms purchases, including building a Taiwan dome, an air defense system with the high-level detection and interception capabilities as the U.S. pressures the island to increase its defense spending. The budget will be allocated over 8 years, from 2026 to 2033, and comes after the president already pledged to raise defense spending to 5% of the island's GDP as part of his strategy amid China's threats of invasion. Currently, Taiwan has set an increase in its budget defense to 3.3% of its GDP for 2026, allocating 949.5 billion Taiwan dollars, or 31.18 billion US dollars, U.S. President Donald Trump has demanded Taiwan raise its defense spending to as much as 10% of GDP, a proportion well above what the U.S. or any of its major allies spend. And a woman in Thailand shocked temple staff after she started moving in her coffin after being brought in for cremation. A Buddhist temple in a northern province on the outskirts of Bangkok posted a video on its Facebook page showing a woman lying in a white coffin in the back of a pickup truck, slightly moving her arms and head, leaving temple staff bewildered. The temple's general and financial affairs manager telling the Associated Press Monday that the 65-year-old woman's brother drove her from the province to be cremated. He said they heard a faint knock coming from the coffin. The brother said his sister had been bedridden for about 2 years when her health deteriorated and she became unresponsive, appearing to stop breathing 2 days ago. The brother then placed her in a coffin and made the 300-mile journey to a hospital in Bangkok to which the woman had previously expressed a wish to donate her organs. The hospital refused to accept the brother's offer as he didn't have an official death certificate. His temple offers a free cremation service, which is why the brother approached them on Sunday, but it was also refused due to the missing document. The temple manager said that while he was explaining how to get a death certificate, that was when they heard the knocking. In sports, the Bahamas Basketball Federation has selected a 12-man roster to represent the country in the opening window of the FIBA, the International Basketball Federation Basketball World Cup America's qualifier, which is scheduled to begin with a home and away series against Canada. It was scheduled for last week, actually. The team roster includes Kai Jones, Isaiah Mobley, Travis Munnings, Kentwan Smith, Ron Keno Burrows, Sammy Hunter, Zane Knowles, Franco Miller Jr., Dominic Bridgewater, Gavin Clark Jr., Adriel Martinborough, and Rashad Davis. The team will be coached by BBF First Vice President Moses Johnson. T-Bombers is set to open the first round of Group B action with a home game against Canada on Friday night at the Kendall Islands Gym. The matchup begins at 8 p.m. Read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section. And more basketball, the Bahamas will be represented by a 4-member contingent in the country's first appearance at the FIBA 3-on-3 AmeriCup 2025, slated for November 27th through 30th in Mexico. The team, composed of former senior men's national basketball team members Kadeem Colby, Quema Gibson, Jackson Jacob, and Dylan Musgrove. The payment contingent will be led by head coach Marvin Henfield. The national team will begin competition on Thursday in matchups against Uruguay, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Trinidad and Tobago. Coach Henfield, not mincing words, saying the expectation for this group is to return home with a gold medal. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a strong high-pressure system shifting south across the Bahamas. That's resulting in the tightening of the pressure gradient across the southeastern islands. Fresh to strong winds and rough seas expected throughout the southeastern islands and parts of the central Bahamas as well. For the rest of the country, gentle to moderate winds and mild weather conditions with a few light showers possible. There is a moderate to strong risk of rip currents for the central and southeastern islands, and beachgoers and swimmers should exercise caution. And parts of the northern Bahamas waking up to some fog, patchy fog. It's burning off now as the sun continues to rise. But keep that in mind, we might experience that for the next few days, early in the morning. Your forecast for today for the northern half of the country, partly to mostly sunny, becoming fair tonight. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. Wind southeasterly at 10 knots or less. Falling light and variable at times for the extreme northern islands. Southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. For the central islands, variably cloudy today, turning fair tonight. And for the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny and windy, turning fair and breezy tonight. Still only about a 10% chance of showers for the central and southeastern islands. Winds easterly at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts for the central islands and 20 to 25 knots, gusting at times for the southeastern islands. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 85 Fahrenheit, 29-30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 60s for the northern half of the country, around 19 Celsius. The low to mid 70s for the central and southeast Bahamas, around 23-24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your Thanksgiving Day forecast. Coming up in just a bit, this weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that?
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Join the Bahamas Heart Association for its inaugural golf tournament, proudly presented by Visa and Fidelity Bank on Sunday, November 30th at the spectacular Royal Blue Golf Club. Every swing brings hope and healing to young hearts. Gather your team and play with purpose or make a donation. Tee off for Tiny Hearts, because every heartbeat deserves a chance. For more details, contact the Surfing to Sassoon Heart Foundation at sassoonheartfoundation.org.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your number one fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Arrange a test drive before December 8th for a chance to win an Everything Christmas box. Visit easy242.com or call 461-0100 to get started.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. You leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
At Cleveland Clinic, you set your course, not cancer. So when your journey takes an unexpected turn, you seek out the experts who've conquered it before, and you forge new paths to help fight cancers. For every route to a cure, for every care in the world. See how we're innovating cancer care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester Robards off today. Coming up, we've got a lot to talk about, a lot happening in the news, plus our monthly series. We've got a couple of them. We've got the Humane Society. There's an antimicrobial awareness campaign. We'll give you all the details about that. You don't want to miss that. Then later, we're talking with National Insurance Board, our monthly series with them, and talking about compliance and a few of their new initiatives. And we're looking forward to that discussion. That's all ahead. But right now, it's time to talk about what's in the news. And in the news, still the fever from the by-election still a bit high, and it's becoming something else now, translating into general election fever. But there's a lot of analysis in the papers today about the turnout and the vote and analyzing the numbers and what it means for which party, what's looking good, what's not looking good. We're going to get into that in just a bit. And the successful candidate, Darren Pickstock, is speaking, and we're going to hear what he has to say as well in just a bit. But there are a couple of stories in the paper that are really quite interesting, and boy, I tell you. All right, so let's begin. There's the story with the court case with the woman who threw what we believe to be acid in her rival's face. Yeah. And then this story about that barge, remember that that got moored on the reef a few weeks back. So the company that owns it says that looters left only 11 out of 192 containers untouched. Wow. Archester Robards writing about it in today's Guardian business section. Trailer Bridge, the U.S. company, the U.S.-based operator of that barge that ran aground in the Abacos earlier this month and was looted, explained in a First Coast News article out of the U.S. that only 11 of the 192 shipping containers on the barge were left unopened, with the value of the cargo of each container ranging between $50,000 and $200,000, according to a maritime lawyer. The article explained that Trailer Bridge is funding a cleanup of the area where the barge ran aground on the reef. The barge ran aground after its tugboat suffered a mechanical failure and the connected tow line snapped. Director of Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, DEP, Dr. Rhiannon Neely-Murphy, confirming yesterday that Trailer Bridge has mobilized a cleanup effort in the area and that a salvage operator was contracted at their cost to remove all the debris from the area. She says that DEP continues to get an understanding of the damage caused to the reef by that enormous barge in order to calculate what the Jacksonville, Florida-based company might owe in the way of damages. All right, so the article also says that while some of the containers held goods destined for retailers in Puerto Rico, others held the personal effects of the people who were moving to the island. So the article says, quote, many of the containers held personal belongings from people relocating to the island. Others held food, appliances, and commercial freight. Maritime lawyer Rod Sullivan saying, quote, the people in Puerto Rico will probably suffer some shortages over the next few weeks as they try to make up for the cargo that was stolen. Oh, my. Ah, boy. A bunch of Grinches ruining Christmas for the poor people of Puerto Rico. Oh, dear. It added that last week the barge and each container were being evaluated for insurance purposes. The article saying that the Brooklyn Bridge barge arrived back at Jacksport, the port of Jacksonville, on November 21st, where crews finished unloading and began a container-by-container inventory with insurance carriers. It said the Trailer Bridge was in the process, and that it could take weeks as they worked to identify what was taken and return salvageable items to customers. It said that the company thanked U.S. officials for supporting the barge's return and said its priority remains the safety of personnel and the accurate accounting of customer cargo. The NASA Guardian reported last week that police charged 3 men in relation to the barge looting incident, alleging that prosecutors allege that Darren Lightburn and Faisal McIntosh stole appliances and electronics valued at $500,000 from the barge. Meanwhile, Moselle Smith was also charged with receiving stolen appliances. They all pleaded not guilty when they appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans at the Marsh Harbor Magistrates Court. Bail was set at $30,000 each for Lightburn and McIntosh, and Smith's bail was set at $7,000. Wow. Okay, let's get your reaction to that, folks. Not just new appliances, people's stuff. People's stuff. Very sad. Let's get your reaction. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. You can call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. We got a texter saying, looters or Christmas shoppers? Ah, boy. Wow. Wow. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. What say you?
Dwight, it's impossible to open containers that are stacked tightly together on a barge.
Oh, yeah?
Unless you move the container. How are they saying that only 11 were unopened? How could you get between a tightly stacked container one to another? Is this just for an insurance purposes they are claiming?
Did it look like Did it look like they were having a hard time getting to what they wanted to get to?
No, but I'm saying some containers are stocked real high. They're in rows.
Obviously,
4
these
and
are
5
mountain
high.
climbers. Obviously, these are some very skilled people.
Right, but one that is tightly stacked together with another, you have to move the one in front to access the one that's in front of it. And that's tightly packed.
Maybe they cut it open. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, boy, this looked like an insurance move for me.
Really?
Yeah, this looked like a claim.
Did you watch the videos?
Well, no, I'm only saying I see how we used to stock containers when we ship things. And I'm understanding how is someone able to get between and open and then move something like a fridge.
So you don't think it was that many? You think?
I think they're lying.
You think they only got it? They only got to 11.
Well, you said only how many?
Only 11 were untouched.
Right. What I'm saying is they're lying.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, okay. Let's see what this caller is saying. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, I the bar situation, I think the ministry or some representative talked about penalties about 20,000 or so, but I think the minimum penalty should be in a situation like that should be at least $1 million, because we don't know how bad the reefs were damaged. So that $20,000 is a joke. I think we should start a minimum of at least $1 million in damage. On the by-election, that situation, boy, look here, both sides going to have to go back on the ground because that election is very close. That's almost like a runoff score. And I think the Bahamian people, they're waiting for the big dance and the Golden Isles especially. So don't take that for granted. Both sides have to go back on the ground because I tell you, man, that they're too close to call. I think the Bahamian people, a lot of them felt, hey, it don't make no sense making no change now. I think they're waiting for the big dance. So both parties got to go on the ground. That ain't no walk away, I'm telling you.
All right,
too close to call.
We're going to get to that in a bit. Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. Let's take another one. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, morning, Dwight. What's going on, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, everything blessed. I agree with the first caller, man. Don't try that, man. They trying to get out of, don't pay for our reefs and stuff, man. Tell them why, but the fine for the reef.
Well, actually, I mean, I don't think they're trying to get out of it. Maybe that is in their best interest to get as much insurance money so they can pay any fines.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe. I agree with the first caller. How's high those containers, 45-footers, and then stocked? How they stock the second or third row? How they get them open? How they get them open if they back to the door? The next one back up to the door and 5-story high. How they getting them bottoms there? And I see it on the news and things. So one of them top certain things they get open and things like that, man. How they stock, they can't get them doors open. They trying to get out of something, or like you say, for the insurance, a big insurance money, too pay to fine. We will know about our reefs, man. What they saying about our reefs? They don't jack up our reefs.
Well, as soon as DEP gives them the bill, then they will have to pay it. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's listen here. They do pay it, because we always letting people get away. They always they put all the doo-doo in our water and thing in the United States, get $40 million. We ain't get a cent. Yeah, we always getting the funny end of the stick.
Okay. All right.
All right, boy.
Thanks a lot. People are okay. Interesting responses this morning. The reef is terrible. Yes, it needs to be fixed. We need to, if it can. I guess yes, it's a terrible thing. But the other part, we're not okay. We don't care. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yeah, man, Dwight, that one ain't gonna work for us. All of us know how containers are stocked on a vessel, right?
Not all of us, though.
Hello?
Okay, I hear you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if those guys could actually could have really moved those containers, Dwight, man, we have the strongest men in the world living in
we have determined men, very determined.
Yeah, very strong and determined men living inside Abaco.
So based on the videos you saw, how many containers do you think they got open?
No, they're gonna get all of the ones in the front open. Right? I really couldn't I can't really give an accurate amount, but all of those would are stocked to the front and available. They could get them, but the way they just have them stocked on the ship, you could see how they have them stocked on the ship. They just be tightly stocked for to keep them on the ship, because if they loosely stock on the ship, man, they're very respectful to no containers. Right, so they have to have them tightly stocked for turbulence on a cruise on a ship, because you don't know what weather you're going to encounter. So they just can't be loosely. So for them to suggest that no man, that ain't no they must know we don't do investigations, so they could just come tell us anything. Because that ain't adding up, Dwight. No, Dwight.
Okay, I hear you all. I don't know if this is the type of maybe we should end this conversation. I don't think we need people to be hearing us disputing this, because now it makes it look like we're justifying. I don't know. It just seems a little strange. Maybe we should move on because they clearly opened a lot and they got a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's helpful for us to dispute what the company is saying. But whatever it takes, they'll get their insurance money and they'll pay the fines and they'll do. But let's not say they're lying. We didn't steal that much stuff. No, let's not do that. Because we know we have tons of videos that showed plenty of people taking a bunch of things. I'm afraid to take these other calls. But anyway, let's get through them quickly. Good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, how you doing, man?
Hi, I'm here. I'm trying to process what's going on.
It sounds like you were stuck with the results of the fruit of a poisonous tree. And I'm serious because I believe that the communications from all sides of this experience should be responsible, and it should reflect as reasonably and as accurately as possible what actually happened. And I don't think that it's acceptable to be stealing as what happened with this particular company and its goods. But I also believe that the communications that they're putting out, especially in this particular case this morning with the many containers they had and the many containers they are saying was access, I believe that the Bahamian people have every right to respond to, because they're trying to paint a picture that doesn't really accurately reflect. If you appreciate how containers are stocked for safety and for the ability to transport them across the ocean, so that in rough weather those containers don't move and they're locked in place, man. And just take a specific, like the first gentleman was saying, it's a specific mechanism that accompanies that process. Mm-hmm. And there is no way you are able, once they're stacked for shipment and hasn't arrived at the port, for those mechanisms to be disengaged. You can't manually disengage those containers. That's why shipping in most cases is so successful, to move containers from far away places across very, very rough seas without them getting dislodged. So I just think that there's an exaggeration that is not fair to the Bahamian people in general, but we accept responsibility that the stealing does reflect poorly on us, but this exaggeration reflects poorly on them. So that's just what I'd like to say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. A couple more calls and then we're going to move on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning.
Hey, I've been working for the container port in Grandmama. Those trailers are stacked back to front, back to front, back to back on top of one another. It's impossible for those people to get to that many containers. It might be possible to get to the containers around the perimeter or on the very top to the back of the ship, but to get to that many containers, that's impossible. These people sound like the big, more gangsters than the people who raided the barge. So, yeah, they tell them come again. Pay for the reef and come again with a different scenario. But that one, what they tried? No, that's impossible.
Thank you very much. All right, so just lock everybody up. The shipping company and the boaters who came to them. Okay, well, I could get behind that one. We put them in a container and set them out to sea. How about that? Caller, what say you? Your final call on this.
Morning, cousin Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Grammy Boy was calling to put you on blast this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think all of the callers are correct. All of the callers are basically onto something and correct. From Muff Rule to the Riddler, John, right on point. Because I worked around with package delivery service back in the day. And we used to do a lot of visiting the docks and containers and those things. You can't get them. They like the last caller said just now, they stack from back to front. And like John said, when they put them on that boat, because of rough seas and swaying and all of that stuff, those things are locked into place. They have a locking mechanism, just how they lock on the trailers that take them off the dock. They lock on that boat like that. So maybe the fellas them read it wrong from the company. Maybe 11 was broken into, because that's the only faces you could see. 11 faces, the ones that are at the rear of the stock. So maybe they have gotten that stuff wrong. And Dwight, stop being so pessimistic about things. You got some people on the ground who know what's happening, a lot of your callers, they know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be so pessimistic.
You sure you saw all the videos and you saw the pictures and stuff like that?
Dwight, you ain't hear what I tell you, I was just waking.
Okay.
The PDS Packet Delivery Service. I know how them things are stock.
Okay.
He's got to let the trailers, the only way you could get them off there, you need a hoister, the thing would just go on the top of them and lock in the place to take them trailers down. They can't come down. You can't turn them like that.
All right. I hear you. Thanks a lot. I don't think you all saw the things I saw, but that's fine. We're criminals, but we're not that big criminals. Going to do one story really quick before we take a break, but you all are very interesting people. Very interesting. It's great. It's great. It's great. But okay. All right. Let's move on. This other story before we take a break. Wife who blinded husband's accused lover loses bid to cut sentence. Our Artesia Davis writing about it today. The Court of Appeal Tuesday upholding the 7-year sentence given to a jealous wife who blinded and disfigured a woman whom she suspected was her husband's lover. You got to follow this story closely. This is wild. Following a trial before Magistrate Simone Brown, 68-year-old Pandora McKenzie received the maximum sentence for causing dangerous harm. On November 8th, 2020, that's 7 years, the maximum sentence. On November 8th, 2020, McKenzie's husband invited the victim to his home in Grand Bahama with the intention of convincing his wife that they were not romantically involved. First mistake. McKenzie had agreed to meet her alleged romantic rival. The husband and the woman denied that they were having an affair. However, as they spoke, McKenzie threw contents of a metal cup in the woman's face and then stood over her with a cutlass. The husband tackled his wife and disarmed her, preventing further injury to the woman. McKenzie appealed the sentence on the ground that it was unduly severe. 7 years. Her lawyer, Bjorn Ferguson, argued that the magistrate erred when she described the case as the worst of the worst. By contrast, the prosecutor, Ashley Carroll, said the sentence fits the crime. In dismissing the appeal, Justice of Appeal Bernard Turner noting that the attack was premeditated, saying, quote, "The evidence indicates that the appellant lured the victim to the location under the false pretense of wanting to have a conversation with her, while instead waiting with a corrosive substance concealed in a cup." He added that McKenzie threw the substance directly in the woman's face and then armed herself with a cutlass. He said, quote, "In these circumstances, the learned magistrate was entitled to justify the offense as among the most serious incidents of its kind, as she would have taken judicial notice of the extent of the victim's injuries. And as a result of that attack, the victim can no longer work as a cleaner and is dependent on others." Wow. Wow. Yeah, and that's a crazy story, and 7 years is the maximum sentence. I don't know if that even sounds right. 7 years for acid in your face, but my gosh. We can talk about that on the other side of the break. This is Morning Blend on a Wednesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
A season. My work is on the water. Free diving. Through no line is how I survive.
I'm Marcela Sanchez with an AP News Minute. A report says U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff advised President Vladimir Putin's foreign policy advisor on how to pitch a Russia-Ukraine peace plan to President Trump. A transcript of the call was published by Bloomberg News yesterday. According to the report of the October 14th call, Witkoff advised Yuri Ushakov that Putin should call Trump to congratulate him for the Gaza peace deal, say Russia had supported it, and that he respects the president as a man of peace. When asked by Russian state media to comment on Bloomberg's report, Ushakov did not question the recording's authenticity, but said they had not been leaked by Moscow. He also said he spoke to Witkoff quite often. Trump described Witkoff's reported approach as standard negotiating procedure. Pope Leo XIV is embarking on his first foreign trip, a pilgrimage to Turkey and Lebanon. I'm Marcella Sanchez.
Got your first look at traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. In your real-time traffic, we've got, as usual, heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway. You're going to see that from Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. That's northbound. And expect some delays there. And we're seeing some heavy traffic on Carmichael Road, eastbound to the termination point for Milo Butler Highway, and that's mainly eastbound in that Faith Avenue area. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you near Carmichael, straight up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. And Independence Drive has some major westbound traffic and slow moving at this time. Along Soldier Road, you're going to see heavy traffic at the intersection with East Street and again near Windsor Place. And just west of Soldier Road, if you're on Prince Charles Drive heading into Robinson, very slow-moving traffic all the way up to Marathon. Northbound on Marathon and Soldier, both seeing heavy traffic at this hour. Those are your hot spots right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. This traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your goals happen here. Time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a strong high-pressure system shifting south across the Bahamas, resulting in the tightening of pressure, the pressure gradient across the southeast Bahamas. Fresh to strong winds and rough seas are going to impact the southeastern islands and parts of the central islands. For the rest of the country, though, gentle to moderate winds and mild weather conditions with a few light showers possible. The trough is expected to linger near the northern islands through Thursday, where it will merge with prefrontal troughing ahead of a relatively strong cold front expected to move off South Florida. That cold front is projected to move into the area by Friday and then stall just south of the northwest Bahamas by Saturday. And that's going to bring some unsettled conditions through the weekend. Behind the front, though, strong high pressure will build, and that's going to bring fresh to occasionally strong breezes across all areas and slightly cooler temperatures over the northern islands. For today, there is a moderate to a strong risk of rip currents for the central and southeast Bahamas, and beachgoers and swimmers should exercise caution. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs in the mid-80s for most areas. Look for 85 Fahrenheit or so, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 60s for the extreme northern and northwest Bahamas, around 18, 19 Celsius, and in the low to mid-70s for the central and southeast Bahamas, about 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, Thursday, partly cloudy to cloudy with some overcast periods for the northern half of the country, variably to partly cloudy for the central islands, and partly sunny to sunny for the southeastern Bahamas. Elevated rain chances for the northern half of the country. By Friday, variably cloudy for the southeastern islands, partly cloudy to cloudy with some overcast periods for the rest of the country, and that pattern should hold throughout the weekend. We'll take a closer look at the tropics in these final few days of the hurricane season in our next weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Hey! Come on, y'all! Give me the thing! Yeah, y'all! Hey! Why don't you give me what you promised me? Cause I've been waiting where you tell me be. Why don't you give me what you promised me? Got some play around, and give me. See, I done wash your dishes and all your brother clothes. Take cassava out your yard, I even feed your goat. I even scrub them dirty feet and get fired.
Okay, let's get to your text messages. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio. Dwight Strong with you. All right, so this is back to the reef story. This person says here, the company, I guess they're talking about, the company's talking fool. What about the reef and the two containers that are missing? What are they ain't talking about? Okay. So ladders can't be used to get to the taller trailers. Most of the containers were stacked back to back, and it said that the insurance claims adjusters and part of the inventory and claims process. If Bahamians weren't stealing, this wouldn't be a conversation. I hear you. Just having an interesting conversation with my producer there. I mean, the excuses. I mean, yes, the reef is very bad, and somebody has to pay to fix this. Hopefully we can fix it, but that is no excuse. You can't use that excuse. We're just talking. If you lose control of a car and you crash through somebody's wall and the car ends up on its side or upside down in somebody's yard, yes, you destroyed their wall and probably all the plants and stuff. You have to go because maybe you have to go to the hospital or whatever, or go to get some help. The homeowner has the right to go in your car and take all your things? Is that what we're saying? That's what some of you seem to be saying. That's what a lot of you appear to be saying. And what about my wall? What about my plants? Okay, yeah, hopefully my insurance will cover it and we'll fix it. But where are my things? I don't understand. Anyway, they couldn't open a lot because only 3 people were charged. That's all they could find. That's the evidence. Maybe there'll be more. We don't know. There were a lot more boats. Only containers on the end could be accessed. Well, I don't know that, but Bahamians are inherently corrupt. But for the thieves stealing millions of dollars in goods, there'd be no need for comment from the insurance man. Well, people over there don't quite work the way we work here. They certainly weren't going to comment here. But it's a very different, the U.S. is a very different place. This person says here, I'm lying or not, one angel, what now? One angel grinder, okay. That's a tool? Okay. I don't know. We were just talking about romantic rivals. That could be something else. I don't know. Anyway, and they can go from container to container. It looked like they're somebody was trying to do that with one of them on the side. I don't know. Because the containers are tightly stocked, or stacked, I guess you mean, makes it easy to cut them open, empty one, and just keep cutting into the back end, the rest, and whatever. So how is it law enforcement did not go on the barge and take pictures? Or is it the law enforcement team took stuff? Nope, I can't read the rest of that text. Boy. This person says here, as one of the responding officers that actually went on board. Okay, well then, somebody did. On board the barge, the report of only 11 containers being left unopened is completely believable. I've seen it firsthand, left in shock. You might need to call in so people can hear you, because they're saying that we just think Bahamians are evil. That's why I'm saying you need to call in, sir, and tell us that. Why is it completely believable? What did you see? What did you see? Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Hello, morning, Mr. Strachan. How you doing?
Doing well.
Three quick points. Mr. Strachan, even though it's an insurance job, but thieving is thieving, because from you see, people put boats in the water on trailers, on cars waiting in the dock. That was organized thieving. But the bottom line, that's an insurance job. But Mr. Strachan, I want to make one comment on the by-election in Golden Isles. Can I?
We're going to get there in a bit, but yeah, quickly, you can do that. Mm-hmm.
No, listen to me. I know it's everybody talking about this Golden Isles by-election. Now, first of all, if you know politics, for 20 years, that was Adelaide under Frank Watson. You know it, right?
We remember, yeah.
For 20 years, that was after the strong one. Akilas win it with a wave in 202. Charles Maynard win it in 27 under Ingram. Akilas win it again with a wave with the PLP again. One Miller win it with a wave with the FNM. One Miller win it again with a wave with the PLP. But now, Philip Brave Davis defeated Michael Pentard and Ewan Ingram in a balanced race.
He was running. I don't remember seeing his name. I don't remember seeing his name on the ballot. Not that I voted, but I don't think it was.
We all know, Mr. Strachan. We all know what's happening with the FNM. I mean, no disrespect to Michael Pentard. Mr. Strachan, no, you're a sorry man. If people want the government gone, they will come in large numbers and vote them out. True or false?
We'll see in a few months. I don't know if you can use this as a true indicator of what's going to happen. You know, I don't know if that's. I mean, I'm sure that's what some folks would like to spin it as, but we will see. We will see, as people who voted have been telling us, they didn't want what's been happening over the past few weeks to stop, and that potentially voting for any of the other candidates could have meant that it would stop. As someone who lives in a constituency that is not does not have a PLP representative. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You're going to be the last on the list of things to happen. You can tell where St. Anne's begins and where, I believe it's Fox Hill on Eastern Road. Like, you just drop off a cliff, and it's a roller coaster ride all the way to the eastern end of the island. Yeah, make that make sense. Make that make sense. So it might be in your best interest to see what you can get from the governing party. That's what people are saying. That's what people are saying. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Just like how you say, right? I'm sure anyone with common sense knows that by-elections generally go to the party in power because people feel as if you vote in someone that's not in power, you're not going to get anything done. It's like that's no secret. Like, why do people make things so complicated? You know what I'm saying? That's why Ingram was saying probably the FNM shouldn't even run the by-election, but that's a whole other matter.
Yeah.
But in terms of the acid in the face thing, we all know our laws in here are very lax. And that's, you know what I mean? That's like permanently scarring somebody for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. You should get like 10, 15, 20 years, easy. But our laws are very lax and lackadaisical.
Yeah.
And in terms of the container, I had a boss one time the place got robbed, right? And he tell the insurance company that they care all the money he make. But that wasn't not true. Because he used to do a pull every hour or 2 hours or whatever. But so don't mind the container company saying how much they lost. They'll be trying to get a win off the insurance company. But Bahamians did, try help empty the boat to make it easier to get off the reef.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh.
Yes, and that's what they say. They said someone told them that, but that's only physics, right? The lighter the boat is, the barge is, the easier it is to get off the reef. So they're trying to help.
That's very, very nice of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they paint them as criminals, so they should be heroes.
Mm-hmm. See, now you were making so much sense before. I don't know if you're being sarcastic right now.
You know he's joking.
Okay, because you sound very convincing. But maybe they will be national heroes next year. Stranger things have happened. Thank you very much for the call. Okay, all right. But there you go. Shortly after they did that, they were able to get it off the reef. So maybe. Caller, what say you? Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, your caller just now. Good morning, Dwight. This independent thinker. Your caller just now said that anybody knew that once the government in power and it's a by-election, the government wins. That's nonsense. That's false. Because in 2000, you had the election with Malcolm Hadley when the FNM was in power, and the FNM lost. They put Dr. Dwayne on, and the seat was won by Tryon the Ryan.
Yeah, what he meant was that if the seat is held by the governing party.
No, he didn't say that. He said anybody
knows
that
but that's what he meant.
Because the government power wins. No, that's what he said. He never said that who was holding.
Sure, but that is what he meant. I can tell you that's what he meant. That's what he meant.
Oh, that's what he meant. Okay, you reading what he meant. Okay.
Yeah.
But do you believe in the statement that the former prime minister made that whoever wins the by-election, the former prime minister, Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, he said that whoever wins the by-election wins the government.
I don't think he said that with this by-election. No, he said that with the by-election.
Okay.
Nobody said that with this by-election. You heard somebody say that with this by-election? Okay. That was said in a previous by-election, but not this one. I don't know what this one means. I don't know. I know what a bunch of people wish it means, but we will see. We will see. But nobody said it with this one. We're going to get into the by-election talk in earnest in a bit after the news. This is Morning Blend and a very entertaining Wednesday here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Yeah, you're saying good man is hard to find. All I can say is this gal must be blind. I don't think you know what a good man is like. They the liars, cheaters, schemers, then they tell you take a hike. All them kind of fellas give man a bad name. Then you pass me by thinking I's the same. But darling, what you see, yes gal, is what you get. I's a good man, darling, you can bet. If you be with me, you'll have no regret, girl, cause what you see is what you get. Yes, girl! Man, look here. You must get your eye closed cause I see plenty good man out there. All you good man, let me see you raise your hand. You see that, girl? You must say you know what you're talking about, girl. Listen now. Good man who go out on the town every night. A good man to stay home, make sure everything right. No baby mama drama, no girlfriend on the side. No dirty laundry, nothing to hide. Never cheat on my woman, faithful is my name. Don't pass me by thinking I's the same. Cause darling, what you see, yes gal, is what you get. I's a good man, darling, you can bet. If you be with me, gal, you'll have no regret. Cause what you see is what you get. That's right, gal. Open your eye, gal.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
On your mark, get set, let's go. Let's go. Catch yourself. Control yourself. Where's your dignity? Show some civility. I say, catch yourself. You must stand yourself. Where's your dignity? Show some civility. There's a lot of darkness all over the place. So many misbehaviors. Man, it's a disgrace. Some believe our society is falling apart. Moral and social decay. Man, it breaks my heart. Some think it's cool behaving like a fool. Haven't you forgotten the golden rule? All kind of wind and cussing and plenty road rage. The woman them in the road they fighting. These are at your age. I say.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Wednesday morning. And changing gears now, talking about the by-election. Some of you already started as there is analysis on the turnout and the numbers, what they mean, and who's going to see some smooth sailing ahead of the general election and who has a lot of work to do over the next few months. So we've got a report for you from our Vonik Toot on the recount that was going on yesterday. Some interesting comments from some of the party members who were there taking part in that count and what they observed. And then we'll get to some of these very interesting stories in the papers today about what these numbers mean. Take a listen to this report.
Representatives of the Progressive Liberal Party, Free National Movement, and Coalition of Independents gathered here at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium today for the official recount following yesterday's Golden Isles by-election. Though they say the process has been slow-moving, it's important to get it right.
So far, it's going very slowly. And I understand the precautions that the returning officer is taking to make certain he does everything properly, crossing all his T's and dotting all his I's. We've both agreed on their side and our side, meaning the F&M, that we could find some ways to expedite the matter. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. He has 17 polling divisions to go through. He's only midway through the first. And so you can imagine how long it's going to take.
Fewer than 4,000 people voted in the Golden Isles by-election on Monday. Ballot boxes were transported to the baseball stadium, and the recount reportedly began at 11 a.m. 1 hour later, officials were still on polling division number 1, prompting some people in the room to leave to return later. F&M Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis admitted it's a tedious process.
In the past, I've been in recounts, and it's taken about an hour a box, so it is very much an very long all-day process, but it's part of the parliamentary procedure, and there are checks and balances, and there are ballots. We're looking at the ballots again, and obviously having discussions over the rejected ballots and having discussions over the used ballots, whether there's a signature or whether there's an X, is that a smudge, that kind of discussion. But part of the accountability and transparency that we want, right?
She estimated that each party had 5 representatives at the table. COI leader Lincoln Bain says he has seen some strange things during the recount, resulting in some ballots being rejected.
Things like persons have signed their signature instead of ticking or making an X. And so we need to educate the public more about the proper way to vote, because I see that several ballots have been rejected because people have written on the ballot paper instead of just making an X or a tick. And actually, it's more than an X and a tick that's accepted. Some people circled their sign or just put some mark in there, and it was still accepted because it shows their intent. Now, there were some people that did with X's that look like signatures, and they were rejected. But for the most part, like I said, these guys are doing a very good job, and they're being very fair.
COI candidate Brian Roll says he understands why officials want to take their time, though.
You can probably appreciate that, that they don't want to really rush it. They want to make sure everybody, see and understand exactly how the process is going.
Any concerns thus far as the process begins? I know it just began maybe an hour ago.
No, no major concerns.
So what does the lengthy process entail?
So for us, the first thing we're doing is when we open the box, we're taking out the Form Q and counting the used ballots to make sure that they match. And then if they don't match, then there's more that you have to do. But obviously in the beginning, there's discussion as to that process. There's discussion as to, okay, are you walking up and down with the ballot? Are you standing? Let's try to make this as efficient as possible.
This is part of the process that has been established. I support the position of the former Prime Minister Ingram. There's no way to cheat an election, and I'm happy he said it, because in a way I feel a bit vindicated for what has transpired over the years. But at the end of the day, we have to complete this process. We just have to take the time to do it.
Any concerns thus far?
Not really. I mean, listen, we won the election. We knew it was going to be a tight race. We knew it was going to be a low turnout, and we're satisfied that we were able to win it. And, a win is a win in politics.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Toot.
All right. Interesting stories, as we said, in the papers today. Darren Pickstock speaking, saying that he's confident that he is also going to be elected the Golden Isles representative in the general election next year. And that's in there today. But the big headline, low turnout troubling as Pickstock got 48.3% of the vote. So our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this, saying that though the Progressive Liberal Party managed to defeat the FNM in the Golden Isles by-election on Monday, the results show that more people voted against the PLP than for it. A review of the unofficial results show that the PLP's Darren Pickstock, the MP-elect for Golden Isles now, secured 1,873 votes. The FNM's Brian Brown got 1,636 votes, and the Coalition of Independents' Brian Roll got 348 votes, with Karen Butler, the Independent, getting 16 votes. In all, 2,000 people, or 51.6% of voters, did not vote for the PLP. It did not help that voter turnout was so poor on Monday as well. So Golden Isles has 7,926 registered voters, and only 3,873 people showed up, according to the unofficial results released by the Parliamentary Registration Department. That means that voter turnout was 49%, and that 4,053 people did not vote. Pickstock secured 48.3% of the vote, Brown 42%, and Roll 9%. In 2021, during the general election, voter turnout in Golden Isles was 50%. Of the 7,391 registered voters, 4,895 people voted in that election. All right, so as you know, the by-election called after Von Miller, the representative, died in September. Voter turnout in the 2021 general election, which was 65%, was considerably lower than in previous general elections, and that vote took place during the COVID pandemic. So we're waiting to see if things will be different with the general election. This is me talking now, because, again, a lot of people were a little on edge with the last general election in the middle of COVID. Former cabinet minister Zhivargo Lang, who hosts Z Live right here on Guardian Radio, said that the low turnout in Monday's by-election is worrying and called for comment from the Nassau Guardian. He said, quote, "Given what we saw in the pandemic and now this, I think it's troubling. There is a need to find out from voters what their sentiments are towards participating in elections. I really think that we need to find out, is something you did because you just didn't think it mattered? Is this something you did because, generally speaking, you don't have much motivation and confidence in the electoral process, either in the integrity or in the process itself, in delivering any results for yourself?" And then those are the questions he once asked. I think it's worth finding out, and certainly something even the Government and Public Policy Institute might have interest in trying to survey voters to get a sense of what they're thinking now and even into the next general election. And he is the head of the Government and Public Policy Institute. The COI saw a small increase in support on Monday compared to the 2021 election. Its share of voter support increased from 7% in 2017 to 9% in 2025. So scholar Dr. Ian Strachan argued in a Facebook post on Monday night that a vote for the COI is a vote for the PLP. He wrote, quote, "Those who vote COI don't see themselves as PLP supporters, of course, but that is exactly the consequence of their decision. Every COI vote helps the PLP and hurts the FNM. So those who vote COI desiring change are actually voting for the country to remain the same. PLPs should actually thank and encourage the COI for a job well done. If you think about it, the enemy of your enemy is your friend." Wow. Okay. I don't know how widespread a view that's going to be, but that is a very interesting take on it. COI leader Lincoln Bain assured that his party will not be deterred, though. In a statement yesterday, the party said it's focused on the general election, saying, quote, "We now prepare strategically and without hesitation for the general election of 2026. The COI is ready, the Bahamian people are ready, and together we will redefine what governance looks like in this country." Bain, as you heard in that report we just played, is also troubled by the poor voter turnout, saying, quote, "The Bahamian people have decided what they want at this time. They decided that they don't want to change anything at this time. Let the status quo remain. The general election is on the way. That's the people who voted. Now, there were more than the majority of people who decided that they weren't going to even participate in this process, and that is concerning." Okay. Interesting comments there. There is another story in the Tribune that is going to get a lot of people perhaps hot and bothered. So, former Attorney General saying that the by-election is a boost for Pintard and a knock in the head for the PLP. Which former Attorney General? Sean McWeeny, KC. He believes the Golden Isles by-election delivered a political boost for FNM leader Michael Pintard while dealing a knock in the head for the Progressive Liberal Party. Despite its victory at the polls and the popular belief that the results prove the PLP has the momentum heading into the general election. Against that backdrop, McWeeny said Pintard emerged from the by-election in a stronger position. McWeeny, a PLP stalwart, says, quote, that crown on Pintard's head can rest more securely today than yesterday. By performing impressively in yesterday's by-election, even winning a majority of the polling divisions, 8-6, the FNM and Pintard can point to all that as evidence that he is indeed a viable leader of a resurgent party. No need to send an SOS out to Papa. McWeeny shared his post-race commentary in a message to colleagues yesterday. Turning to the Coalition of Independents, he said the party's performance fell short of expectations. He noted the COI lost its deposit by failing to reach the legal threshold of 16.6%, adding he was surprised after its online presence and visibility throughout the campaign. According to the unofficial results reported by the Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson, the COI finished the race with 348 votes. So McWeeny says, for all the noise they were making and all the social media coverage they were getting, I thought they would have done better than they did. Then again, voters may have had Lincoln fatigue by the end of it all. He argued that the COI's votes in Golden Isles prevented the PLP from winning an outright majority and added that, if added to the FNM's tally, would have flipped the seat. This is McWeeny now saying, quote, that's what spoilers do. And the COI are certainly shaping up to be spoilers in close seats in the next general election. Bottom line, they can't win, but they can cause you to lose. McWeeny also praised Pickstock's showing, noting the PLP candidate had only 41 days to introduce himself to voters. He said, quote, Darren came into Golden Isles a virtual unknown to constituents, in contrast to the FNM's candidate, who had good, solid history there. In just 41 days, Darren made the rounds, showed himself to be a class act from start to finish, and ended up in victory. McWeeny credited PLP strategists Jerome Fitzgerald and Kevin Simmons in their roles as campaign managers as well. Nevertheless, the former Attorney General said Monday's results should be sobering for the government, particularly given the close margin, the FNM's strength across multiple boxes, and the heavy resources deployed by the PLP. Again, quote, yesterday's results will no doubt be seen and felt as a knock in the head, all the more so when one considers the massive firepower and resources the government had brought to bear. All of it turned out to be a bit underwhelming if the final count is anything to go by. He warned the PLP that viewing the by-election as affirmation rather than caution would be a mistake, pointing to the national pattern of one-term governments over the past 2 decades. Final quote here. If, however, yesterday's results are interpreted as an affirmation that all is hunky-dory and right on track, or if nothing but excuses are forthcoming now as to why the PLP didn't get more votes yesterday, the cycle that has seen every single government party in the past 5 general elections get tossed out after just one term is bound to repeat itself again. Okay, quite fascinating commentary from Sean McWeeny. Let's get your reaction to all of that, folks. Give us a call really quickly. We only have a few minutes left in this segment. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Some of the folks who called in earlier might want to call back and tell us what you think about that. Yeah, okay, let's get to the messages, then we'll get to your quotes. This person says here, listen here, Dwight, a vote for the COI is a vote for the COI. The nerve of the F&M with that nonsense, clearly not just the F&M. If the COI can't win it, the PLP will have it all. I applaud the COI. The F&M deserves to sit out for no less than 2 more terms. Bahamians would be stupid to move the PLP right now. This texter says here, take what Sean McQueenie said with a grain of salt. Always prop up a weak opponent. Oh, so it's strategy. Okay, that's very interesting. This person says here, from my vantage point, the COI leader seems to have a beef with Mr. Pintard, and with many issues, it appears he likes to attack the F&M instead of the PLP. Does he envy Pintard, or is he working for Brave? Wow, okay. And this person says here, the parliamentary people should be very transparent and recount the advance poll in the presence of political agents. That's what's going on, texter. Come on now. Has anyone thought of this before? Where are you? Who are you? Where are you coming from? What? Are you serious? That's what they were doing all day yesterday. You new here? Welcome. I hope you're not voting already because you just reach clearly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to the wider Bahamas.
Hi. Good morning.
Yes, just tell us a coalition of independents with the PLPs that created the coalition of independents.
Oh boy.
They don't believe it just because see who was rewarded due to their creation. Okay, so there's no fight, and you could ask them what party I was when I helped create the coalition of independents. But let's move to the issue of the numbers. The numbers is, I think Mr. McWeenie is correct. If you have a government that you look at the force they put on the ground and have a 6-point win, shows as one of your radio show hosts, MJ says, the weakening of the soil beneath the Progressive Party. When you look at the fact that this is simply a snapshot of a particular point in time of individuals and the resources that was taken to get individuals to come out, you then begin to have an open-minded. If the PLP or the F&M takes this as an absolute victory, they will both be in trouble. Now, what the PLP has to understand is, and we can look at the economy and the shift that is happening now globally. We import our inflation, we import the impact of our economy and the weakening of our economy, and more so of the tourism dollars now being even more dominated by the cruise ship industry. But we have to look at individuals when they go to the poll in 3 months or in 6 months, will be asking questions concerning public health, concerning education, concerning housing insecurity. And I see in the newspaper, you see where people say we're celebrating things and people are still living in cars. The economic growth, the fact that you have to work 3 jobs to pay 1 bill. Have we solved the food inflation crisis? Have we solved the immigration crisis? The national debt is it's ballooning. The educational foundation is falling apart. Job skills is not keeping up. These are felt by persons individually in their personal economy. The question that I think most people would ask is, where to from here? What's now, what's new, and what's next? And so I think over the next 3 months, I think the most effective person is who's going to be able to articulate an executable vision, because we have had a lot of talk, $100,000 without doing nothing. Jobs has increased, skills. We have a lot of conversation, but we don't ever, in the media, and I say talking heads, not the newspaper part, from the talking heads type environment, we don't ever evaluate what happens. But if you actually have the ability to do what is called social listening. Social listening is the digital aspect of listening, more so because we have so many people on social media in groups and every different thing. And not these political small groups of political fanatics that sit and battle each other all day because they don't have nothing to do, and the $300 they get paid comes in handy. We're talking about in business groups and other groups where they have conversations, those individuals that read the business section before they read the front page. There is a conversation concerning the state of our nation, because we have not grown to where we want. And we are half feeling the impact. Yes, there has been some economic growth, even some slight personal growth for individuals.
Yeah.
But the collective in the Bahamas have not felt it.
Okay.
And this is not, remove the political. We as a country have to begin to recognize where we are and where we need to be, because technology, with the help of AI, accelerates the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And so that means that if you don't economically turn, you'll suffer the consequences.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the comments. Let's read these as we go to the break. This person says here, I still think this is a good strategy, the F&M running in the by-election. Although Brown did not win, he would know where his strongholds are, I think they're trying to say, and weak areas are. To campaign. If they didn't run, the results could have been worse, I guess, in the general election. Okay. And a couple from earlier as we go. This person says here, what a sad story about the woman with the acid. A woman permanently, physically, and psychologically scarred. An elderly woman spending some of her golden years in stripes. Do they wear stripes? I would have given her 10 years. Stop going to jail for mad. Just leave if you can't tolerate your partner's alleged behavior. Yeah. And another text to unduly severe. They're talking about the 7-year sentence. Loss of sight and independence is unduly severe. I also think, that is unduly severe, right? I also think the husband should be charged as an accessory. Whoa. Oh, boy. Yeah. I think we should petition our lawmakers to make the mandatory, or at least the minimum in a case like that, 10 years. Bump that mandatory up to 20. No? Anyway, we got to go. We'll be back. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Thank you, man. Try not to be a snob. I say, catch yourself. Fight, control yourself. Where's your dignity? Show some civility. I say, catch yourself. You must smell yourself. Where's your dignity?
What's on your wish list this year?
A family staycation.
A shopping spree. Surprise me.
'Tis the season of surprises. You could win a tech bundle, family staycation, US $1,000 cashback, or US $500 Amazon voucher. Simply use your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card or Visa debit card for a minimum spend of US $100 or more. Learn more at www.cibccaribbean.com. Terms and conditions apply.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Cool down with the latest Frosty flavors at Wendy's. Savor the Caramel Crunch Frosty, which combines a creamy texture with a satisfying toffee nut crunch. Or indulge in the fresh and tangy taste of the Lemon Cake Frosty. Or enjoy the sweet and chocolatey goodness of the Cookies and Cream Frosty. These new Frosties are only here for a good time, not a long time. So head to your nearest Wendy's and grab your favorite flavor today. Gotta be chili, gotta be frosty.
Unwrap the gift of style with Nassau Tile's Holiday Warm-Up event from November 17th to 29th. Now is the time to beat the holiday rush with savings so hot you'll feel the cheer. Save 20% off store-wide on all tile, setting materials, backsplashes, mosaics, trims, and more. Gobble up even more savings on selected net items. Shop the Holiday Warm-Up event at Nassau Tile for a feast of savings. Visit our showroom on Dodgewell Street or call 322-2100 to check off your holiday style wish list today.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. Leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store
and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
What's on your wish list this year?
A family staycation.
A shopping spree. Surprise me.
'Tis the season of surprises. You could win a tech bundle, family staycation, US $1,000 cashback, or US $500 Amazon voucher. Simply use your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card or Visa debit card for a minimum spend of US $100 or more. Learn more at www.cibccaribbean.com. Terms and conditions apply.
.46, the time for your final look at weather. Weather for the morning brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. And so we've got a strong high-pressure system shifting south over the Bahamas. That's resulting in the tightening of the pressure gradient across the southeast Bahamas and fresh to strong winds and rough seas throughout the southeast Bahamas and parts of the central Bahamas today. For the rest of the country, though, gentle to moderate winds and mild weather with a few light showers possible. So the trough is expected to linger over the northern islands through Thursday, where it's going to merge with prefrontal troughing ahead of a relatively strong cold front forecast to move off South Florida. That cold front's projected to move into the area by Friday and then stall just south of the northwest Bahamas by Saturday. And that's going to bring some unsettled weather into the weekend. Behind the front, though, strong high pressure will build, and that's going to bring fresh to occasionally strong breezes and slightly cooler temperatures, mainly for the northern islands. For today, we have to deal with the rip currents. We've got a moderate to strong risk of rip currents for the central and southeast Bahamas, and beachgoers and swimmers in that part of the country advised to exercise caution when entering north and east coast facing beaches. Your forecast for today for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny, becoming fair tonight, only about a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. For the central Bahamas, variably cloudy today, turning fair tonight, and partly sunny and windy today in the southeastern islands, fair and breezy tonight. Temperatures today look for highs around 84, 85 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. For the northern half of the country, about 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius for the central and southeast Bahamas. Overnight lows in the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s for the northern and northwest Bahamas, around 18, 19 Celsius. And for the mid 70s for the central and southeast Bahamas, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, Thursday, partly cloudy to cloudy with some overcast periods for the northern and northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy to partly sunny for the central islands, partly sunny to sunny for the southeastern islands. Elevated rain chances for the northern half of the country. By Friday, variably cloudy for the southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy with overcast periods for the rest of the country, and that pattern's going to hold into Saturday and Sunday. Elevated rain chances again for most areas. And comfortable conditions once that front moves through. The tropics are quiet these final few days of the Atlantic hurricane season. That's your morning blend weather check. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're looking to paint, your local Sherwin-Williams store has top quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. And your final look at traffic, brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. We've got still some heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from just north of Fire Trail. You'll see that all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes. Blue Hill Road also busy for you, multiple directions, both north and southbound at multiple spots, especially near Carmichael, near Soldier Road, and north of that area straight up to Independence Drive. It's going to pick up again for you once you're north of Robinson Road on the way to Cordo Avenue. Independence Drive seeing some slow-moving westbound traffic towards Blue Hill Road and East Street. Heavy northbound traffic once you get north of the Soldier Road intersection on the way to the East-West Highway roundabout and through that roundabout straight up to Robinson Road and Balfour Avenue. Robinson Road still heavy traffic for you westbound between Soldier and Old Trail, and pockets along Prince Charles Drive with major intersections like Fox Hill Road right now. Downtown, seeing some heavy traffic near Nassau Street. That's West Bay Street, eastbound and westbound. And again on Bay Street near the Straw Market. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Your partner for smart motor insurance and advice that puts you first, whether you're at home or on the go. Getting an instant motor quote is easy. Give them a call or visit your nearest branch or log in anytime at nuainsurance.com.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Hey, yeah. Hey, baby. Dedicated to the legends of rape and scrape. Take it away, Swin. Come on, girl. Let's get down on the floor. 'Cause I only got 4 minutes, 9 seconds to win you over. Now, girl, please, I need your full attention. 'Cause 36 of 249 already gone. Dry bread would sing, girl, move, move, and knock into this groove. Girl, I'm in the mood.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Wednesday morning. This morning we are talking about antimicrobial awareness, and we're going to cover this from many different angles. Our friends with the Humane Society partnering with us on this, and Percy Grant is in studio with us. Good morning, sir. Great to have you. Great to have you with us. All right, we've got a whole bunch of people here to talk about this. Nurse Donaldson is back. Tamara Donaldson with the National Infection Prevention and Control Program. And we have Commander Desiree Cornet with the Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network. And we have Dr. Jessica Edwards, head of microbiology at PMH. So good morning to everybody. Great to have you all with us. Let's make sure everybody's mics are up. Yep. All right. So antimicrobial awareness. We're talking about humans. We're talking about animals. What are we talking about here?
Connected.
Yeah, get right to that mic, Percy.
And this is the reason I thought this was so important is because of the amount of animals in our country and the lack of awareness and people not spaying and neutering and allowing animals to breed indiscriminately. We are a small populace, and as we speak, the Humane Society right now is full of animals. We cannot take anything else. We are bursting at the seams. Wow. And people don't seem to get that. And so they allow their dogs to roam, they allow the dogs to breed, and not understanding the danger in the event if we have an outbreak of a disease. Luckily, we don't have rabies in the country. But like we were talking about this, and this is the reason why all these agencies are so important. Remember, we started off with wash your paws and went into the schools, Ms. Donaldson, and teaching the kids how to wash their hands and the importance of all of that. And now we have the Wildlife Agency Network who enforce laws, and she'll talk much more about that. But we can, start with Dr. Edwards.
Dr. Edwards. All right, so let's talk about this antimicrobial. Let's get some definitions in there, and microbiology in general. Yeah. What do we need to be aware of and keeping in mind?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. So I want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to be a part of this program and to share some more information and insight regarding antimicrobial resistance and World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week. This week, past from November 18th through the 24th, is a globally recognized awareness week promoting a particular plan to bring awareness to the public about what antimicrobial resistance is. This year's theme is Act Now, Protect Our Present, and Secure Our Future. As I mentioned, it is a global initiative headed by the World Health Organization, and the Bahamas is one of these countries that is committed to bring awareness with regard to antimicrobial resistance. So antimicrobials, as many of us would probably be aware, are medications like antibiotics that are chemicals, compounds that were designed to destroy bugs like bacteria that can cause disease. And many of our listeners are probably familiar with using antibiotics or even antifungals, which is another antimicrobial, to treat a ringworm or a yeast infection, for example. The problem is that we are now facing a period of when these antimicrobials, like the antibiotics, are no longer effective in treating these infections. Wow. And what that means is that we are at risk for having serious complications of these infections that may lead to more serious conditions, including death.
Yeah, well, we know this has been going on for a long time now. People with a simple cold will reach for or go to a doctor or somebody and get antibiotics. But that is definitely, we're paying the price for that.
Yep.
Absolutely. I will give you a little history because I do like history. And so in 1928, Alexander Fleming, some of you might be familiar with the term or his name, was in his microbiology lab and had surreptitiously, very luckily, identified this organism that was producing chemicals that he found to be leading to the bacteria that he was growing in his lab developing resistance or becoming afraid to grow close to this chemical. Mm-hmm. And that is how he essentially discovered penicillin. And it became commercially available in 1930, and it has transformed modern medicine. And so we can use these antimicrobials, these antibiotics and others to treat these infections. So he warned when he won his Nobel Prize in 1945 that if we misuse these antimicrobials, these antibiotics, that they would someday become less effective.
Wow.
Yeah, and resistant.
All right, so how bad is it? How resistant are they now? I mean, is it time to panic or
It's
past time?
It's past time, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Ms.
now,
Donaldson?
right, because you have different diseases that are resistant. Just as Dr. Edwards was mentioning, you have diseases such as gonorrhea that are becoming more resistant to antibiotics in other countries. And, we're a tourist destination. And we love to be friendly with persons in a sexual way. That's human nature.
Oh boy.
Nothing is wrong with that part. But if you were to abuse these drugs, just like Dr. Edwards mentioned, then you would have a serious problem. And with STIs on the rise, that's a concern. And so if you have abuse of that, persons, they would find that they would become sick and there would be nothing to treat them. And so I'm sure she has seen some of that already in hospital, but that's where IPC comes in as well with healthcare associated infections, because you have persons who come into the hospital and they become sick and they may be resistant to some of these medications, and they may end up very ill or even leading to death. And we are seeing some of those things right now as we speak. And so the key to this is really awareness, because we can talk about it all day as healthcare professionals among ourselves, but we need to include the public, because they are the ones who would be accessing healthcare facilities, accessing all of these drugs, also getting it on the black market, very easily, and also demanding to your private physicians, I'm sick, I need this right now, and you want to get that sale, and so you're writing these prescriptions up just to satisfy these bigoted customers or clients, and so it's a problem, so we need to talk about it more.
My goodness. So are we seeing this in the animal world as well?
We're
or
seeing
it's
this in the
becoming
animal world as
resistant?
well.
Yeah.
Yes. People want to be a veterinarian, and they want to do what they want to do and give the animals all these various drugs for various things, and not understanding, spaying and neutering is so important. And I keep preaching that, because this is the reason why we are bursting at the seams. And if we have, and there are zoonotic diseases, and Nurse Donaldson could tell you that. I'm sure Commander Desmond could tell you as well, that there are zoonotic diseases, and we don't want to have an outbreak of anything that humans can catch via animals, and because of the amount of animals and hygiene and all those things, people are allowing it, and it all trickles down. In fact, people are not taking care of garbage properly. They're leaving. They don't have proper receptacles. The Ministry of Health needs to really enforce people, homeowners, to have proper receptacles and to mitigate the fact of stray dogs coming around, and stray dogs wouldn't be around if people spay and neuter. Right. And so it's everything is all connecting. We're crossing all the dots, and I'm so excited that all of these agencies are coming together. So excited about that.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the initiative that's coming up on the weekend.
Right.
You mentioned something about the ministry should do something about it. So it's not just the ministry. You have all of these other agencies. You have BASFA, Pan American Health, and Dr. Edwards can tell you more about the agencies who are included, working with the students and everyone. So it's her initiative. At least she's spearheading it, so she should tell more about it. I'm excited about it, but she needs to expand more on that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
Dr. Edwards?
Yeah, so you're right. It is a collaborative effort, and we do have a One Health approach to this particular initiative. And so we have agencies from Human Health. We do have the veterinary services through BASFA. We have the food safety and quality service through BASFA, plant health through BASFA, and the environment. So it's what we consider a quadripartite initiative, where all of these agencies are responsible to help share awareness and to promote the effective use, appropriate use of antimicrobials, because it's not just a human health issue. This is a multi-sectoral issue. And all of these particular agencies, the environment potentially is a large source for reservoir and residual antimicrobials in the environment. So we're actively trying to, surveil the communities and our environments to find out what the levels of antimicrobial resistance is in the environment. Yeah. We are also looking at the sea and the coastal line. So this week, on November the 29th, on the Saturday, between 7 and 11, we're working together with the Department of Environmental Health Services to do a coastal cleanup at South Beach, so that we can help to, one, bring awareness and to make a difference by removing some of that coastal plastic that becomes a potential source and a breeding ground for resistant organisms, and where collection of runoff of these water effluents can then lead to collection of antimicrobial resistant reservoirs.
Yeah.
So we're doing our part, and we're inviting the community to come together to work with us on trying to clear up the coastal lines to reduce the burden in that particular area and to bring awareness.
So I'm noticing on the flyers, and there's a little video, you're saying that if antibiotics are disposed of properly, this can lead to other issues as well. Let's talk about that and what people need to what people need to know about that. Mm-hmm. Dr. Edwards?
Sure. So, as I had mentioned, when these antimicrobial agents are not disposed of, or we don't use the antibiotics as they're supposed to be used, and we don't complete the course, sometimes we discard them in the toilet, or they might end up on somebody's counter that might be used, alternatively in an inappropriate way.
Right.
And if they are, for whatever reason, left to be discarded and thrown into the environment, they can become a potential source for antimicrobial resistance to breed. Because once those organisms become exposed and they become aware, but not adequately used and appropriately used, the microbes learn to become resistant. And that is where the problem develops.
Wow.
Right. So, like I said, we're on a mission to bring awareness and to make a difference by trying to clear up some of the debris that can lead to the proliferation of these organisms and the growth of these organisms that can become a problem for us in the future.
Oh, so what do we do? I mean, is there a solution to how we can make sure that antibiotics will continue to be effective? Do we need to stop using them for a little bit? What is the plan?
Well, like I said, the Bahamas is very actively involved in promoting the awareness, bringing policymakers together, bringing veterinarians, farmers, the health community, human health community, pharmacists, and the environmental sector, so that we can all do our part. So each specific sector has a responsibility and a role. And from a human health perspective, which is what our mission is today, primarily in terms of bringing awareness to the community, is to ensure that you are not using antibiotics unnecessarily, as Nurse Donaldson had raised. We need to know that we're using these drugs in the appropriate way. If you have a cold, we know that typically these colds are caused by viruses, and so they're not going to be effectively treated with an antibiotic.
Right.
The drugs are not made to be used for viruses.
Mm-hmm.
And so in those cases, we want to be careful. When a doctor prescribes a medication, you should use it in the way that it was intended. So if you are having an infection that needs an antibiotic, but 2 days after you start taking it, you're feeling better, we don't want you to stop taking the medication. You need to complete the course completely. Because if you don't, you're now teaching those bugs to become resistant to the antibiotics.
Wow.
And the next time you need that drug, it won't be effective.
Yeah.
It may not be effective. So we have a responsibility personally to do that.
Okay. All right. And again, if you want to take part in the cleanup, what do you need to do?
We will be at the beach from 7 a.m., South Beach, at 7 a.m. until 11. And we will be having hot sauce after you're finished your beach cleanup. We will give away t-shirts. We're also going to be bringing more awareness to the community about the importance of antimicrobial resistance and awareness in general. From the human health perspective, environmental perspective, we will have representation from BOSFA and their agencies so that we can work together and do our part to protect our present and secure our future.
Okay. All right. Wonderful stuff. We also have Commander Cornet here with Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network. It's going to be news to a lot of people that you exist, Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network. Tell us about what this is exactly.
So good morning. Thank you for having us. Thank you for the offer. We're going to probably offer some non-science, non-technical, non-medical perspective now to the conversation. So the Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network is operating currently as a task force. So what we are is a cabinet commissioned initiative. We consist currently of persons from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Department of Customs, and the Department of Forestry. Right now, we're going to onboard some more persons as soon as we get some other stuff set up. And what we've been doing is we've been tasked to take care of all of the environmental breaches, the wildlife breaches, as well as natural resource breaches. Mm-hmm. And so we have been doing things like keeping the quarry mining to a to a minimum. The
Oh,
illegal
boy.
one, of course, that's been
big
having
work.
some interesting effects. Our job is also to look at the ports, the ships that are coming in, the invasive species. I guess to add to that conversation with antimicrobials, we have quite a bit of invasive species that have come in. They come in through sometimes through vessel, the bilge water, etc. We have a lot of everything from cane toads and the green iguanas to the raccoons to the Cuban tree frogs. So we do have quite a bit of invasive
Cuban tree
species.
frogs. Okay.
You're right. And along with that, so our task would also be taking care of anything that has to do with our flora and our fauna. Again, another way for those items to come in. We have cane toads, not cane toads, we have the corn snakes. We have a lot of persons that bring in items that are supposed to be checking and getting permits and licenses from the compliance and the regulatory agencies who we do work closely with. And when they fail to do that, that's when BAWEN will step in. So we are the enforcement arm. We are the persons that will lead the investigations, prosecutions before the court. And it's been very busy for the last 9 months.
It's a long time coming. We have
It
had
is.
so many
Talk right into the mic.
animals. We've had so many animals come into the country illegally. Right now, we have a lot of breed dogs that come into the country that are banned, but they come in. Big the cane torsos and the African baubles and all those dogs are banned from the country, but they're here. And people have in the past brought in juveniles, South American green iguanas. We've had issues many years ago that one escaped, and we had a whole task force trying to catch it up in the Foxhill area, and that was a drama that I will always remember. And so there are a lot of people bring in, small things. Right now we have the corn snake that everybody's terrified of because it's a red and white snake with a checkerboard stomach. They're very aggressive to our snakes, and this is the seriousness of it. And so now you're seeing a lot of Bahamian boas out in the elements or out in the public or out in the, where they shouldn't be because they've been chased out of their habitats.
Oh, gosh.
And because these snakes are very aggressive. But again, we need to take, and I'm so glad that your agency is here so that people would understand that we cannot have these invasive species in the country. We are going to be killing ourselves. And we have to, the bleeding hearts, I know they don't want anything to be euthanized. We could be, they don't want, oh my God, it's a cute little thing, but it's very, very serious. National security is important.
Wow. All right. So we're going to have you back to talk more about the work that you're doing. That was a long list of things that fall under your purview. I want to ask you really quickly as we got only about 2 minutes left. But we were talking about containers all morning with that ship that ran aground. Are containers inspected? Are all of them inspected? How do we ensure that something didn't get in on one of these?
So I think that comes. That would probably be more of that'll be more of a customs function. So they do have that single, the click to enter. There's a single. I forgot what that's called. A single platform where things are flagged and it's done randomly. However, we do work a lot with observable tips as well as tips from the public for that stuff. So just to reiterate for BAWEN, we are looking to have our legislation before cabinet, hopefully this year, hopefully before the end of this year, to be stood up as a standalone agency, sister agency to the police defense force, especially. So we're looking forward to helping to curb some of the breaches that we've been seeing. That is a part of our culture that we hope to
so many breaches
have corrected.
And how many people do you have working with you right now?
We have about just over 20 persons right now, and that doesn't say any. We've have about 50 something cases before the court, which has never been heard of before. I think in terms of environmental. Quite a few, at least over 20 something plea deals. So it's been gathering, and those citations that we do issue, the 50 plus, they're about $10,000 to $20,000. That's the average cost of them. So we've already purchased our place inside the sphere.
Okay, we're gonna have you back very soon. We've got to discuss this some more. Really quickly, remind us about the beach cleanup Saturday. Dr. Edwards.
So it's Saturday, November 29th at South Beach from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
And we're encouraging all in the community and those who are interested in helping this cause to come out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Jessica Edwards, Commander Desiree Cornet, Nurse Tamara Donaldson, and Percy Grant with the Bahamas Humane Society. Keep up the great work that all of you are doing. Great information this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk with you all again soon. Thank you. We're going to break for news and be back with National Insurance Board. A lot to talk with them about. Stay with us.
All this liquor up in me feeling nice.
The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Arrange a test drive before December 8th for a chance to win an Everything Christmas box. Visit easy242.com or call 461-0100 to get started.
Looking for the perfect Sunday outing? The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas is now open and free to all Bahamian citizens and residents. Spend the day admiring the evolution of Bahamian art. Soak in the natural beauty of our art park and take a little piece of culture home with you by browsing our gift shop. Whether you're an art lover or just curious, we've got something here for everyone. Bring your family, your partner, or your friends and let the art inspire you this Sunday and beyond. The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, our home for Bahamian art.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. The PLP's newest MP, Darren Pickstock, admits he has a lot of promises to keep to the people of Golden Isles if he hopes for their support at the next general election. But he's sounding confident he can repeat his victory.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Do what you say that you were going to do. Be and give good representation. That's what people want. That's what the residents want. And so we have no doubt in our mind whatsoever that we will be victorious in 2026.
He won by just over 200 votes in a by-election where less than half of registered voters showed up at the polls. In other news, a fight between two roommates at their apartment off Cowpen Road this morning has left one of them dead. Police say their argument escalated to violence after the attacker threw out the victim's belongings. He then went inside, got a sharp object, and stabbed his 25-year-old roommate to the left chest, killing him. The 32-year-old suspect is now in police custody. And U.S.-based company Trailer Bridge says only 11 of the 192 shipping containers aboard the Brooklyn Bridge barge were left untouched by looters who broke into that vessel while it was stuck on a reef off Abaco earlier this month. The company claims each container carried goods valued between $50,000 and $200,000, which included food, electronics, and medical equipment bound from Puerto Rico. 3 men were last week charged in the magistrate's court in connection to that theft. That's what's making headlines at this hour. AP Update is next.
Here are the latest international news headlines. Hospital officials in Gaza say Israel has handed over 15 more Palestinian bodies, completing the latest swap of the ceasefire as the first phase of the agreement nears a conclusion. The move comes a day after Palestinian militants returned the remains of Israeli hostage Dror Or, who the Israeli military say was killed by the militants in their October 7, 2023 attack. Rescuers recover more bodies in the search for dozens of people buried under landslides or swept away after torrential rains on Indonesia's Sumatra island, increasing the death toll to 17 and leaving at least 6 people missing. A fire has spread across multiple high-rise apartment buildings in a Hong Kong housing complex, killing at least 4 people and leaving others trapped inside. The Australian government says young children will be banned from social media next month as scheduled, despite a rights advocacy group challenging the world-first legislation in court. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Smooth R&B nights under the stars are back. Soulful Sunday. Join us for Soulful Sunday Volume 4. Sunday, November 30th at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Pool. Hosted by Rika C. and Das Quay. Featuring live performances by the Essence Band, Donnie and Zavi. Plus, Navandria Lyric. Gates open at 6 p.m. and the show starts 7 p.m. Sensational live music. It's a night of dancing. Soulful. Sing along with today's and yesterday's hits.
Flashbacks of the time we've had.
Have a few sips and kick off the holiday season at the waterfront. Tickets are just $35, $45 at the door. Get yours now at BahamasEtickets.com. Join us for Soulful Sunday, Volume 4. Sunday, November 30th at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Port.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This Christmas, Everybody Wins Live is giving you a chance to win a gift of a lifetime. A brand new, fully deeded home. From November 21st to December 26th, every time you play $10 or more, you're one step closer to the keys to your future home. More play means more entries and more chances to win big. Play in-store or online today. This holiday, go beyond winning. Go home for the holidays, only with Everybody Wins Live. Remember to game responsibly.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan with you on this Wednesday, and it's our monthly series with the National Insurance Board. Today we are talking compliance, a lot of exciting things happening with NIB and compliance. We are very pleased to have with us consultant Cecile Bethel and acting manager of compliance Janine Outen-DeVoe, along with Rudina Baisden, the assistant manager of the Public Relations Department. Great to see you all. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
All right, so compliance, we know we could talk about this for 3-4 hours, but let's get into it. There's a lot of new things happening with compliance. Let's begin with what's going on. Cecile?
Well, the thing is, as we are approaching the end of the year, what we are doing is undertaking this important mission of making sure that all persons who are running businesses, the persons who are in charge of the payroll, and even self-employed persons, that they do what is necessary to bring themselves in good standing. We want them to clear the slate. And our acronym for this one really is get ahead and stay ahead.
Okay.
So that's what these initiatives are all about.
Do you notice that some people fall behind? Is it at this time of year especially, or what do you see?
Unfortunately, yes. There are persons who are falling behind, and what we're wanting to do is to, we want to build relationships with our employers and self-employed persons. We want to encourage them. We want to let them know that, we're here for them. We're able to work with them if they have challenges, and that's what this show is about. We want to make sure we reach out to our entities.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. What are some of the common things you're noticing, and how can you help?
Well, what I'd like to share with you guys is
Get right into that mic there for us.
what I'd like to share with you guys is the importance of understanding that the National Insurance Board was charged with administering the Social Security program for the Bahamas. And so our mission is to provide income replacement due to loss of income. This specifically speaks to where our contributions come in. And so the timeline is precise. You miss it, and interest starts to accrue. This is legally specified by the National Insurance Act. Contributions become due at the end of each month that they're earned, and no later than the 15th of the following month. So if they're not paid, interest begins to accrue at the beginning of the first following month. What does this really mean? So we're in November, right? November contributions are due at the end of November. The employer is allowed up to the 15th of December to pay November's contributions.
Right.
We also offer an additional grace period of 15 days after that. Interest now starts to run from January 1st, and this interest now continues to accumulate every single day until those contributions are paid. So it's important for employers to remember the rate change that was introduced July 2024, where we increased to 11.3%. This means that the employer now pays 6.5% instead of the 5.9%, and the employee pays 4.9%, 4.5% instead of the 3.9%. I'm so sorry. And so the insurable wage ceiling as well has now increased to $810 weekly, and monthly up to $3,510, which means that contributions can be paid up to that amount, up to that ceiling. And so these good records protect employees because their benefits depend on accurate reporting.
Right. All right. So with a couple things you said, with the change, it's been relatively smooth, right? Any issues adjusting to the new rates?
No issues per se. I mean, none that we weren't expecting. What has happened? Yes, we do have some employers who are still paying at the old rate, and we become aware of it simply because, of course, we have our inspectors. Who
What are they doing? Just claiming ignorance, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, some people just
defiance?
do not know. I don't think it's defiance. I think some people just do not know.
Okay.
I mean, and that is what we have the inspectorate force for, so that they engage with their employers,
right?
And they, in their review of their wage records, etc., you're able to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know people want to know. They always want to know how many employers are behind.
Plenty.
Plenty? Do you have a percentage that you can give, or it's
Nothing
more complying than not? Right? We hope.
Well, nothing that I would like to share that would say, cause people alarm. But there are some employers, because I don't have the specific, and I don't want to exaggerate either, nor
Right.
do I want to put it under what it is. But it is important to understand and to recognize that that's why we're here. We're wanting to encourage our employers. Come on out. We want to work with you. We know there's financially challenging times at this point, but that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you reach out to us, have a conversation.
Yeah. Janine?
And I wanted to share and remind employers just a little snippet of information. Contributions are to be deducted during the period that wages are garnered. So after that period, the employer can no longer go back to the employee and deduct those contributions.
Wow.
If you don't pay it during that period, you can no longer remove that from the employee's salary. The employer assumes full responsibility for those contributions.
Yeah. Okay. So if you do fall behind and the interest starts to accrue, what do you do in that situation? Like, it's hard enough to make the contributions. What do you do about this interest?
Okay, so I will tell you, we have some good news to share as regards interests.
Okay.
We have an interest waiver program that we have
Oh.
introduced, and that program really ran from July of 2025 and will run up to January of 2026. So it's a good time for our employers to get in. And what it revolves around is we are taking the opportunity to say to employers in Abaco and Grand Bahama, those areas that had the devastation from Dorian,
Right.
we are allowing them to have relief of at least of 75% of the interest that is accumulated on any outstanding contribution payments or arrears. So they get a 75% discount, you could say, and the employers or entities in New Providence and the Family Islands, the other Family Islands, we're offering a 50% discount in their interest payments. Now, we don't want you to think that NIB is just taking this upon themselves and are doing this. This is legislatively grounded.
Okay. All right. So quite a few people will could benefit from this.
Could benefit.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very simple process that they would need to go through. There is you make correspondence to us. You write us a letter indicating what your desire is to have your interest waived. We would then have our inspectors engage with you to provide a report, an assessment of your account. You will, of course, provide your completed C10s for the arrears period. We will get together with you. There's a process. You got to make sure that you are registered with NIB because, there are some persons who are out there that are not registered and, acting outside of the law. So you have to make sure that you're registered. But once you have provided all of the things that we need for the interest waiver program, then that is submitted. It is reviewed by a committee, and more often than not, it will be approved for you to receive the waiver.
If you have a business in New Providence and Abaco, how does this work? Can you apply for?
You can apply
How does
for
it
both.
work?
You can apply for both. Yes, but the Abaco one will receive the 75%.
Only your Abaco operations will get the
yes,
75%.
and the New Providence one will receive the 50%.
Okay. All right. And this is, again, only up to January.
This is at this time. That is the end date, January 2026. So you still got time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you can't say how many people could potentially fall into this category.
I mean, I can't.
Right.
I know there are hundreds, but I won't be able to tell you a specific.
And again, for the
Unfortunately.
employees who are concerned, like, I don't know if my boss is making the contributions, what can they do? What should they do?
Okay. So I'll give Janine the opportunity.
So we do have the RSS portal. Any employee can register for that portal. It's online. You go to www.nib-bahamas.com. You register for the RSS portal. You are now able to review all of your contributions. It's important for the National Insurance Board to ensure that all employees know their contributions. Right. You can review your contributions. If you see where there are some gaps, there are issues there, the compliance department is open and willing to hear and to investigate those gaps for you.
Wow. Okay. All right. You've got a whole lot of other things happening as well in terms of business licenses and even work permits. Let's get into that as well.
So with business license renewals just right around the corner, this is the perfect time for employers to make sure that their NIB accounts are up to date. What that includes is ensuring that we have accurate registration forms. This is the R1 form that we refer to. You can Google NIB R1 form and it automatically pops up. Updating employee information, but most importantly, clearing any arrears or assuring that the employers are covered by an installment agreement, which is our version of a payment plan. Staying in good standing now means fewer delays when January rolls in as it pertains to your business license.
Right.
I'd like to get into the tax compliance certificate process, which is a bone of contention sometimes with persons and I think it's just due to lack of understanding what the process is. Right. So the tax compliance certificate, for those that aren't aware, is a document issued by the Department of Inland Revenue. It confirms that an individual has met all of their tax obligations under the Bahamian law. So many businesses need the certificate for licensing, importation, contract approvals, banking transactions, and more. And so the request is made online through the Department of Inland Revenue. It starts with Inland Revenue. Once it's submitted, the request is automatically routed to several different government agencies, depending on the type of license that you hold. One of those agencies, of course, is the National Insurance Board. Right. So here at NIB, we now receive those TCC requests every single day. We receive it in the morning. We send the reports back that afternoon. Just to ensure that we have a constant response because we have quite a large number of requests coming in. So here's the part that employers need to remember. If your account is not compliant with NIB, the TCC will be denied from us. This includes your business account, your self-employed account, if applicable, and any other businesses that are associated with you as the employer. Wow. So it's very important to ensure that your account is up to date with the National Insurance Board before requesting this TCC or this tax compliant request. Mm-hmm. What we find sometimes is that persons would register businesses with the National Insurance Board and they may not do anything with the business for years, and then they decide, okay, well, I'm going to start now. I'm going to put in for my TCC request. But what most persons don't understand is from the day you registered that business with the National Insurance Board, the system is designed to expect contributions at the end of each month.
Right.
Now, your business may not have started, something may have happened, but the National Insurance Board would not know that unless that's communicated to us. And so this is the importance of knowing who your inspector is, getting in contact with the inspector, and keeping that relationship with the inspector. So if we haven't heard from you, no payments, no updates, no communication for more than 3 months, your account is not considered compliant. Do not request the TCC because it will be denied and then you're frustrated. So come in and speak with us. Let's have a conversation. Let's ensure that your account is fully compliant before requesting the TCC.
And once you show that you weren't in operation, generally this works out and you're good to go.
Yeah,
right?
you need to submit a letter that indicates that you would wish your company's months or those months that your company was closed. You would indicate to us that you want those months to be closed off.
Okay.
And so then we do not expect contributions for those months.
Yeah. And how long generally does that take?
For the TCC?
Yeah.
48 hours is the turnaround time because, as we say, it is an electronic, digital process. So the requests come in, and on the list that we get from DIR, it's either indicated as approved or denied.
Okay. All right. Wow. All right. And then work permits. Oh, boy. Okay.
The fun stuff. So what we would like to share as it pertains to work permits is I have a need for an employee to enter into the Bahamas to work for me. So I would have communicated, and the National Insurance Board has a strong collaboration with immigration at this time. Right. So we speak on a daily basis, we liaise, we communicate. And so when an employer indicates that they have a need for an employee to come into the country, the onus is on the employer to ensure that that account is always current. It is important to ensure that we don't wait until you would have received the work permit and you waited a full year and now it's time to renew the work permit and the employee never even registered with the board. This is where we get into some dicey situations because we're not compliant.
Right.
So again, a reminder to employers that all employees, including expatriate workers, on short-term and long-term work permits, because a lot of persons are not aware that persons on short-term work permits should be paying contributions as well.
Wow. Okay.
It's very important that we share that and we communicate that.
And what do you consider short-term?
You can come in for a week, you can come in for a day. If you work in the country, contributions are due.
Wow. For a week, what would that look like? I mean...
It depends on your salary. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have compliance with that with the short term? How is it?
We're working with employers. I'm getting that a lot of employers are saying that they weren't aware. So we want to get that word out that it's very important. Then short-term work permits are no different than long-term work permits. You're in the country, you're working. The responsibility of the employer is to ensure that the contributions are paid for the employee.
If I'm a singer coming for a concert, does that count as a short term? I'm here for a few days setting up the stage and all that stuff, and then I perform on Saturday night. Is that short term?
It depends on that one. That one's a little dicey.
Okay.
Are you employed? Are you hired by an employer to do a particular job within the country? That's a conversation that needs to be had.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I think it's important also to say with regards to the expatriate workers, some of the employers tend to think that they only need to pay NIB at the expiration of the work permit period.
Right.
And so they'll go the entire year and will not submit a payment. That's really a disservice, and it is legally wrong.
Right. And the
They are
interest is
exactly.
accruing. Yeah.
They are required to pay just like anybody else at the end of the month, within 15 days after, and the interest will start the following month.
Right.
And so, yes, we always say when it is that employers aren't paying the contributions for their employed persons, they're really setting that employed person at a disadvantage. It disadvantages them as regards their access to benefit, particularly, and that person really stands as an uninsured person.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
So delays in the registration or missing contributions, it creates issues when we want to renew these work permits now. And so getting ahead of that now protects your business later. Work permit renewals and first-time applications can be delayed if our records indicate that the employee has not been registered, for example, if there are no contributions, if there are incomplete and inconsistent employer records. What does that mean? We spoke about the rate change. So if you were still paying on the old rate and the rate was changed from 2024, when we go to determine or assess the account, it's still not compliant because the rate hasn't been adjusted. So it's small things like this that we want to make sure that the public is aware of and they're able to better process their businesses, act on their businesses.
Does this come before you? There's a work permit for an employee, but they're doing work for somebody else. Totally different job, barely having anything to do with the person who got the work permit for them. What is NIB's role in all of that?
That is more of an immigration issue, but I'll tell you this much. That is deemed being out of scope because if I came into the country and I said I came in to be a singer for you, Mr. Dwight, in your example, right? But I decide I want to go and be a housekeeper for someone else. You would have communicated to the country, to the government, that you had a need for me to come in to do this particular job. But now I'm in the country and I'm out of scope and I am doing another job. That is now an immigration matter, and I have witnessed myself immigration acting on that.
Right. Yeah. Wow. And I'm sure it's very interesting when the other job is paying them a whole lot more than the one that they register with NIB for. Oh, boy. All right. Any other things that people need to keep in mind?
Well, I want to talk about the smorgasbord of options we have as it relates to payments. One of the things that it discourages, I guess, employers from coming to us and making their payments and ensuring that they are in good standing is they only think about the walk-up window. They only think about the fact that there's going to be a line. And we want to make sure that we remind persons that there are some other options. Yes, there is the walk-up window, but remember that we have those walk-up windows in 28 locations on the 14 islands around the country. Wow. And so those options exist. Now, you just got to get the right time to go to each of these windows. Right. But there are other options. So, for example, we have the bank transfers. Of course, we want to make sure when you do those bank transfers that you ensure that you include the employer NI number, the employer name, and the C10-year month that you are submitting the payment for. If you don't do that, then your payment could end up just sitting in a suspense account because we got to go back now and try to find you and find what it is that you were paying for, etc. So that's the bank transfer.
If I can add to that as well, Ms. Bethel, this is the time when you'd want to communicate that with your inspector as well. Advise the inspector, send your C10 to the inspector, send them a copy of the bank transfer that you would have made so that we understand and we know exactly this money is coming in and where that is to go.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Okay, and the others, of course, is the ACH deposit. That becomes necessary, particularly for companies that are paying out from outside of the country. The check box drop. That the drop box is at every location, just for those persons who are still preparing checks and that, because there are
that's
some
still
persons
happening.
that still do that.
Yeah.
So we have the drop box at each of the locations. And one of the things that we are very excited about, and we really want to push it, and we really want to see more employers engaging with us on it, and it's our digital platforms. These are opportunities for them to be able to make their payments and to do it in the comfort of their own home, in the comfort of their own businesses, wherever they want to do it. There are two options, actually. One is the Employer Self-Service System. ESS is our short for that. And in that system, they're able to have transactions that shows employees who are starting with them, who are leaving. They're able to do the actual production, preparation of the C10, and the posting of those records occurs immediately. So the payment is posted immediately, and you have that the contribution records is updated immediately for both the employer and the employee. Okay? And the other digital option is our C10 Easy Submit and Pay. C10 Easy Submit and Pay is very, very friendly, particularly for those persons who have mobile phones, and we all have one of those. You're able to use your mobile phone to access and create your C10s and pay for them as well.
Yeah.
And again, in the comfort of your car. So I mean, we want to try to, we've tried to make it very easy for our entities to be able to pay contributions because we recognize that, ease of doing business is something that we all look forward to.
Absolutely. As you said, a smorgasbord, right? All right. So no excuses. No excuses. We're talking with Cecile Bethel and Janine Ouden-DeVoe and Rudina Basden with NIB. All right. Are you ready for this? We've got a few text messages, and we can open up the phone lines.
Sure.
Yeah? 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. All right, so this person says here, NIB inspectors have to take a lot of the blame for their vendors being late on compliance. What? The inspectors refuse to return calls and emails when you need to make adjustments. Sometimes they are short-staffed, but it's very frustrating, and emails would show that the business is trying their best to pay. Is that, what do you say to that? I don't know, it sounds like excuses, but what do you say?
No, I wouldn't say that it is an excuse. I would say that there are opportunities or possibilities that will happen. And where it does happen, we will ask our employers, reach out to our uplines. You might not be able to meet the inspector. It is a conversation that we always will have with the inspectors because we recognize that they all have entities, a group of entities that they're required to work with. But of course, they try their best to ensure that those questions and emails and that are responded to.
Yeah. How many inspectors do you have?
48 in New Providence, 8 in Grand Bahama, and 21 in the rest of the Family Islands. So a total of 77.
I should know this based on the segments but that we've done. But so every company has an inspector that you deal with.
Yes.
So inspectors have...
Right. Each inspector is assigned a geographical area.
Okay.
And so that assignment of every employer in the Bahamas is assigned one of those geographical areas.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your esteemed guests.
Hi.
Good morning.
I have a question to ask. a very important question because a lot of Bahamian businesses, small business that is, face this challenge. When people in business, small businesses, particularly restaurants, goes out of business a lot. When it happens like that, why don't you put up a big disclaimer or even run periodic commercials, announcements to indicate that the business owner, it's important for them to come and close that period out, as opposed to just sitting there, not doing anything. Then when you decide to do business again, you find out that you have a big bill because you're being billed on a business that no longer exists, but national insurance is unaware. That's very important because a lot of people find themselves in this awkward position. But when you go around, I don't see any disclaimers or anything posted on your wall or have you to indicate this to people. What do you say about this?
I guess historically, NIB has not been a name and shame business. We've not done that previously. I know that there was talk about it, but I don't know. See, what we don't want to do is we don't want to get into legal problems in that instance. But there are other ways to deal with it. I mean, follow-up is always important, and that's a part of what it is, follow-up. You see that a business is closed, you become aware that a business is closed. Yeah, that's our opportunity to follow up and really to do it with a lot of vim and vigor to try to get results.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, ladies. Poppy, how y'all doing?
Good morning.
Okay, you say no, I don't want to use the word only, but you said 49 inspectors we have here in New Providence?
48, yes. Uh-huh.
48? Mm-hmm. I think we need to double that. We need to encourage the government to double that. So that meaning each one of them inspectors have like thousands of us to deal with? Or hundreds, you'll say?
They have hundreds, yes. That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we need to double that. I think it's really, it could be considered a strain in a way. They're human beings, but if they can handle it, let them handle it. But I don't know. Maybe, they're bringing in money, so we might could afford to hire some more people. I kind of should disagree. I don't know if that was a text or someone was saying that the inspectors them need to do more. I believe they're doing a good job trying to educate us. My particular inspector, without calling any names, she's saying to Mr. Forbes, what you need to start doing is don't wait because Dwight, the tax compliance, sometime when you get it, what they say, not deny. When they say you get it approved, it is last like for 2 or 3 months. But they saying don't wait for 2 or 3 months to pay it. Say every 15th of the next month from you get it approved, you should try getting it because it could be a strain on some of us to have to pay hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for 3 or 2 months for contributions. So I think the inspectors, they're doing a good job. Help me. I don't know if we say this before, because Dwight, this is the first time NIB being on the show. They come here regular.
Every month,
I don't know if you,
every month. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the same people who've been there the last time, but help me remember this, because when you start to talk about the permits, work permits, they say, wee, like this the fun part, right? So help me. I don't know if you did answer it before. Is it any truth that the foreigners, let's use the foreigners who on work permit, like they contribute, they don't get nothing back. Even even the set who pregnant and have children here, do they get something like when you take a leave from work, average Bahamian lady take a leave from work, she gets something either from NIB or something. What about even if they die here? Do we give them anything back from NIB for contribution, or they just paying to be able to work here? I hang up and listen. I think it's an important question you might ask.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Popper. Yeah, I remember the answer to this one, and yes, the answer is they do receive, right?
Yeah.
Rudina?
So if you're talking about somebody who's on a work permit and their employer is paying contributions on their behalf, they are entitled to all the benefits that we would be entitled to, with the exception of the unemployment benefit. So they would get the sickness, the funeral, etc., because they're paying for that once they have the requisite number of contributions.
And even if they leave the country, they will get the pension benefits, right?
Right, if they have the required 500 contributions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and there's a good number of people who are doing that.
I can't speak to the numbers, but again, once they pay the requisite number of contributions and they meet the eligibility criteria, they will get it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This person's asking, are Are there entities that are exempt from NIB contributions, like nonprofits? Is that a possibility?
There are one or two nonprofit entities that may be exempt from NIB contributions, but that is something that they would have to come to us. We would sit down, we would understand the nature of the business, and a decision is made.
Mm-hmm. We've only got about a couple minutes left. This is not a question for you all, but I'm sure it's not. Why do so many Haitians have work permits? Mm-hmm.
Well, immigration.
That's immigration.
Let's hope they have work permits. But anyway, that's a different story. Cecilia?
Yeah, I'd like to raise something very, very important that we're putting on for our entities. So we are extending our business hours on 3 specific days in December to ensure that our employers are able to come in and they can clean the slate. All right. So on December 9th, Tuesday, December 9th, Wednesday, December 10th, and Thursday, December 11th, we are extending our office hours at the Jumbe Village location. We will be there until 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Allowing for entities to come in. They can make their contribution payments. They can make application for the interest waiver. They can set up installment agreements. They can interact with our persons regarding ESS and the C10 Easy Submit and Pay. They can do it all. We are giving them 3 special days, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
So it's only for employers? If folks want cards and other services?
No,
just for the employers.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Great stuff. Anything else in our final 30 seconds?
So we just want to encourage the year-end settlement requirement. Ensure that all businesses aim to have their contributions and obligations updated and clear before the year-end. Don't wait until December 28th. Start now to avoid any delays.
Okay. All right. Ladies, thank you for being here this morning. Great information as always. We look forward to seeing you all next month. Again, Cecile Bethel, Janine Outen DeVoe, and Radina Baston. Thank you very much. All right. We're going to take a quick break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Now to most of you, this is no news, as most of us have been abused. At
CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
At RBC, your idea of getting more happens here with a no-fee loan with fee waivers, competitive rates, and flexible terms. Get everything you want for the holidays. Apply today at rbc.com/holiday loan.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy, the kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Bahamar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Bahamar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
Unwrap the gift of style with Nassau Tile's Holiday Warm-Up event from November 17th to 29th. Now is the time to beat the holiday rush with savings so hot you'll feel the cheer. Save 20% off store-wide on all tile, setting materials, backsplashes, mosaics, trims, and more. Gobble up even more savings on selected net items. Shop the holiday warm-up event at Nassau Tile for a feast of savings. Visit our showroom on Dodgewell Street or call 322-2100 to check off your holiday style wish list today.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Bolt gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Transform your home for less at Kelly's House & Homes Holiday Paint Sale now through Wednesday, December 24th. Enjoy 25% off house and spray paints plus 20% off paint supplies, except on net items. Our wide selection of paint colors is the perfect way to bring holiday cheer to your home. You'll also find the best selection of brushes, rollers, pans, glue, ladders, paint thinner, and more. So catch the holiday spirit and paint up for Christmas at Kelly's House & Homes Holiday Paint Sale, going on now through December 24th.
Black Friday alerts. BWM is doing it even bigger this year. Deals, deals, and more deals. Don't miss this chance for massive savings. Shop BWF for the biggest sale of the season. Slash prices, doorbuster specials, and unbelievable savings. BWF 1 week total blowout savings. Monday, November 24th through Thursday, November 27th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Black Friday, November 28th, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, November 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Save big on appliances, hardware supplies, hand and power tools, automotive supplies and accessories, lawn and garden supplies, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, griddles, grills, and fryers, household supplies, Christmas supplies, Junkanoo and craft supplies, toys, floral decor, and so much more. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook. We ship to the Family Islands.
Attention RBC clients. To comply with regulatory requirements and to avoid service interruption, you need to update your information at your RBC branch. While you're there, enroll in RBC Digital Banking for 24/7 access to your accounts anytime, anywhere. Update your information and bank at your convenience with RBC Digital Banking today.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
And a quick check of business brought to you by CFAL. Grand Bahama Shipyard Limited receiving a floating dry dock capable of lifting 93,000 tons called the East End, which is the first of two floating dry docks that will allow the shipyard to carry out repairs on some of the largest vessels in the world. And the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association President Dr. Marvin Smith saying the Office of the Registrar of Trade Unions is in receipt of the registration document for the proposed new Bahamas Pharmaceutical Union. Smith, in a statement to Guardian Business, said that a recent story in the Nassau Guardian quoting the Registrar of Trade Unions saying that there was no registered union named the BDU was very concerning. And thousands of Bahamians have apparently registered to benefit from the government's online learning initiative, Upskill Bahamas. An office of the Prime Minister's statement saying that in just 10 days, more than 5,000 eligible Bahamians have already registered for the free courses and certifications offered by the initiative. More on all those stories in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, Commonwealth Bank moving 5,188 shares, closing at 424, unchanged. Consolidated Water moving 461, unchanged at 680. Emira Incorporated moving 20 cents, closing at 11.84. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,068.65, up 0.20. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. That is going to do it for us today. We're back tomorrow with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.